Kevin Bales is co-founder of FreeTheSlaves.net, a non-profit organization. The mission is to end all forms of human slavery within the next 25 years. He's the author of the book Ending Slavery, How We Free Today's Slaves. He joins us from CNN Washington. Now, Kevin, you and I have talked before about this, and tonight we focus on, obviously, the chocolate industry. The more I have learned about the way the industry seemingly turns, not a blind eye, but an ineffectual response. Isn't that really the problem?
It's good to see you again, Richard. I wouldn't say that's the only problem. I think the chocolate industry has done something remarkable and positive by being the only industry which has actually brought a large number of companies together to bankroll work on the ground to take child and slave labor out of their supply chain. No other commodity industry has done it. That's the good news. If there's not such good news, it's that they need more resources, and they needed to put in more resources to do that. But of course, the resource question also begs another question. What about all the other industries, businesses that use cocoa, like the cosmetics industry? You know, they seem to have dodged the bullet on this completely. There are lots of other foodstuffs that are made with cocoa besides chocolate. And where are those people participating? Maybe that's where some of those resources should come from to make sure that this job gets done. So, just one more question on cocoa, and then I want to talk about other industries. Why do you think these other these related cocoa industries have been so successful at avoiding their responsibility in this issue? Well, in large part, and I'm going to point a finger directly at you, Richard, for a moment. Journalists keep saying chocolate companies, chocolate slaves, and so forth. They don't say cocoa butter slaves. They don't say makeup slaves. They don't say Cocoa Puff slaves. They're always pointing to the chocolate companies. So that by keeping their heads down, they've been able to avoid this issue. But, you know, it's also true that there have been 2 civil wars in the Ivory Coast since the beginning of the Harkin-Ingram Protocol, which was a good idea. But it's hard to get that work done during a civil war. So there's been a lot of things in the way. That's no excuse. It still has to be done, and it still has to be done because people have to put the right resources to it to make it happen.
Okay, we're going to talk a lot more about chocolate, cocoa in the next few hours. So let's put it to one side. Just give me one other industry that, if there's one industry that you think I should be turning my firepower on next, which one would it be?
I think I would suggest that you look at electronics, laptops, cell phones, and so forth. The minerals that come out of war-torn Congo, produced by slave labor, by armed gangs that are running the conflict in the civil war in war-torn eastern Congo, those minerals are entering the supply chain, ending up in the cell phones, laptops, and computers and other electronics we buy. Now, we know how that supply chain works. We know it's a little tricky, of course, because you know, these are criminals who want to keep it hidden. But we also know that it can be followed, that those minerals can be followed, and that while the electronic industry has been talking a good line, I think it's time to put some firepower there and say, let's trace it all the way back, let's clean it up.
Final question, and it's one I come back to repeatedly with the Freedom Project, because I happen to think and believe that, frankly, nothing gets done until the chief executive of a company says it's time to do something. Just as much as the chief exec can open and close a factory, shift a company into new areas and take them out of other areas, if the CEO says it's time to do something, that's when things get done.
Well, I couldn't agree more, and I think we're looking for CEOs with moral courage. I understand that it's difficult to say to your public and your consumers, hey, there may be slavery in my product, help me with this, as opposed to, I'd rather not talk about it, I'm going to hire a great PR firm to hide it.